Hello, Suzanne Connors Inc. with Dawning Visions Hypnosis here to talk to you about whether or not you feel you're working in integrity with your belief system as a mental health provider. You know, I came into the field of healthcare working under my father in his dental practice, understanding that medicine was a really great thing. He made a lot of his patients a lot healthier and many of them a lot happier with much more beautiful smiles over the 6 years I worked with him while I was in high school and college. And then I got out into the world and I realized, especially mental health, how many drugs are given out to the patients. First for their symptoms, and then the side effect of the symptoms, and it goes on and on and on forever. And I recognize the fact that in a lot of cases, especially after I started writing a lot of blog posts and doing a lot of research, that a lot of these medications do not do what they say they're going to do. In fact, if you look at the research over the years, you'll find that SSRIs really don't do a very good job of helping their patients. In some cases, the symptoms might be lessened to some degree, but then there's usually a lot of side effects that go with them. Antipsychotics are necessary for many of those who have psychotic features, but yet these are some of the most body-damaging drugs possible. So we really have to think about what are the benefits and the cost to the health of the patient who are placed on these drugs, which they're supposed to take for the rest of their lives in most cases. Even though we know that antidepressants really do not help most of the people who say they're depressed. And if they were just allowed to experience the major depression, many of them may not ever have a rebound again. It's in the literature. In fact, the British system of healthcare, they don't even give out any antidepressants unless someone has major depression. They're not willing to spend the money on it. So maybe that tells you something. Maybe not. So I became really weary of all the drugs that my clients were being placed on. And it got even worse when I got into elder care and noted that most of my clients were on between 9 and 13 medications. We have to ask ourselves why it is that we're not finding the cause of the problem and healing it from that point of view, which is what I learned how to do using hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming, so that my clients are not managed and they're not on drugs. I don't want them on drugs when they start seeing me. No medication. Because the medication dampens their ability to do the thinking I need them to be able to do in order to process the healing modalities that I have for them. And it works. Magically so. As Tom Nicoli, one of my hypnosis colleagues, would say, hypnosis isn't magic, but it is magical. And it is. Because we're working with the mind in the way that it was created to work. Pure and simple. A lot of people think that it's dangerous. Well, I'll tell you. Giving toxic drugs, especially to kids, for the rest of their lives, that's damaging. We don't even know what these drugs are going to do to these kids' bodies over the long term. Because they're never tested on children. They're just given to children. You know, those kids who have ADD, ADHD, anxiety. Most especially, those are the most youthful people who get these drugs. It's ridiculous. And it takes away their ability to learn how to self-regulate their emotions, which isn't fair to them, because these are life skills that everyone needs. So I've changed my paradigm completely, 180 degrees. And again, I was raised by a dentist. I worked in his office. I saw how things could work. And yet, when I got out on my own, I realized that so many of these drugs that are pushed on people are utterly unnecessary and they're harmful in the long run. So I don't believe in it anymore. Antibiotics are great for getting rid of bacterial infections. They're not useful at all for viruses, you know? Gotta stop using them for those reasons, you know? We need to understand what is going on with the body and the mind. Because the thoughts create the problems in the body anyway. That's a fact. So, if you're interested in learning about how to integrate hypnotism and neurolinguistic programming into your healing protocol, I offer a 2-day VIP program. It includes a 12-month mentorship program. So, as you're working with your patients, you can message me and then we'll set up a time to talk and I will tell you exactly what you need to do with that particular patient so you can deliver the correct techniques in the right order, doing them correctly. And all I can tell you is that the trainees who have been through this program already, they love it. Because I don't know that there's any hypnosis or NLP trainers who are offering mentorships. And to tell you the honest truth, that's how I got really good at what I do. I was calling Hawaii, where my NLP trainers were located, to get help for 2 solid years because it was offered with the NLP practitioner and the NLP master practitioner programs they offered at that time. It's no longer offered, sadly. So if you're interested, my information will be below so that we can set up a video call to see if that's something that you'd be interested in doing. Well, that's all I have for you for this time. As always, I thank you for spending your time with me. Till next time. Bye-bye all.